Hi everyone, what's up? This is Shukesh once again and welcome to the ultimate review of the Samsung Galaxy J7 2016. In this video, I'll be covering each and every aspects of the phone and also compare it side by side with its competitors like the Moto G4 Plus and the ZUK Z1. And also I will show you some jaw-dropping tips and tricks. If you want to directly skip to the tips and tricks part, check the description below for the timeline. Without further ado, let's get started. Well, first of all, I want to review the battery and well, this is not the way I usually start my reviews, but the battery on this device is just excellent. If you want a device with good battery backup, just get this J7. No other alternative can match this. I mean, you can find devices with 4000 milliamps juice, but what I like on the Samsung device is it doesn't heat up at all. I mean, if you play hardcore games for like hours, the maximum temperature might not even cross 40 degrees Celsius. That means longer and reliable battery backup. This 33 milliamps battery on this phone can provide up to 6 or 7 hours of continuous gaming and up to 3 days of continuous backup if you are a normal user. Well, the biggest disappointment on this phone is I think the loudspeaker. It's so low guys, you might want to use your headset all the time for gaming and also for movies. The ringtone is also not loud enough and the earphones you get free with this device is also not exciting, so buy a premium one. It's really quite weird to see no ambient light sensor on this 16,000 rupees device. I mean, a 4,000 rupees device also features the light sensor. A lot of other important sensors are also missing, like you don't get a magnetometer on the phone. There is no compass, so this might cause some problem during navigation, and you cannot also buy this type of VR kits which are quite cheap and enjoy 360-degree videos on YouTube. You also don't get an LED notification light, but there is an interesting trick for you. You can use your back camera flash for notifications. Just go to the settings menu and accessibility, hearing, and flash notifications. So when your device is in silent mode, you keep the phone flipped. This flash notification will really help you. So a very handy trick for you. I will show you a lot more later in this review, so be with me. The great camera on this device is another reason to buy this phone. You are getting a 5 megapixel front facing camera with flash and also a 13 megapixel rear camera with a flash. The front-facing camera flash is basically a continuous light, but still it's very useful. You can take pictures in dark and it's also powerful enough to light up the situation. The display of the phone flashes as well to add more light. Now the image quality of the rear camera is, I think, one of the best in its class. The maximum aperture is again 1.9 and as you know, the Moto G4 sports f2.0 lens at the back and f2.2 at the front. The Z1 also has a f2.2 lens at the back and the same at the front. Bigger aperture means more light and better bokeh. The image quality outdoor under good lighting condition is, I think, one of the best in its class. Compared to devices like Moto G4 Plus, I think the image quality outdoor is almost same. Whereas indoor, the Galaxy J7 produces less noisy images. If we compare it with the ZUK Z1, I think Z1 produces slightly sharper images. On the other hand, indoor, the Galaxy J7 again handles noise slightly better. Overall, I am quite satisfied with the image quality from the Galaxy J7, though if you are looking for the ultimate camera phone, just get the Samsung Galaxy S5, which is also retailing under 16,000 rupees. I am also blown away by the video quality under good lighting condition. The autofocusing was extremely fast and accurate and the color rendering is also superb, though indoor videos might not look this good. If you want to watch this full video, then check the description below for the direct link. I have uploaded the raw uncut video into this channel. For image samples, visit my Facebook page facebook.com/gadgetsportal. This Galaxy J7 2016 is one of the very few devices having an NFC reader on the back cover, and the battery is also user replaceable and you are getting an SD card slot which is expandable up to 128 gig. This is also a 4G dual SIM device. Well, this year's Galaxy J7 is well built with really good look and the weight of this phone is 170 gram, which is on the heavier side but feels really solid in hand, and the new metal frame also looks and feels extremely premium. The chamfered edges are also quite shiny. So no more flimsy design, Samsung has finally produced a well-built mid-range, and the back cover is still plastic and it has some metal finish actually. The color is also not exactly fancy gold, I think it's kind of cream color. If we compare it side by side with the Moto G4 Plus, the G4 Plus is totally plastic and does not look and feel as premium as the J7 2016. It's also quite lightweight. Then I want to also show you the ZUK Z1, and the back of this phone looks kind of fat actually, but the metal frame looks and feels extremely good, as premium as the J7's, if not better. Let's now talk about the most important thing, that is the display. As you know, you have a 720p display on the J7, whereas the Moto G4 Plus and also this ZUK Z1 sport full HD screen with 401 ppi. Though the viewing angles and the color reproduction of Super AMOLED is unbeatable, 267 ppi definitely looks inferior to the 401 ppi of the ZUK Z1 and also the Moto G4 Plus. Well, from normal distance like 1 feet, you cannot notice the pixels, and the J7 screen looks smooth enough, and you might not even complain. In fact, there is benefit to it. During gaming, the GPU has to push a 720p screen instead of a full HD screen. As a result, there will be no lag or shatter or frame drop whatsoever, even if you try the most hardcore games on the Play Store. Though you have the custom TouchWiz interface on this J7, which is quite demanding, there is basically no lag on the interface. This device doesn't hang at all, and you will face much less problems in long-term uses considering my experience with the previous year's Galaxy J7 and J5. You have good 2GB of RAM on this J7, which should be ample, but as I just mentioned, the TouchWiz interface is quite demanding and the free RAM is always below 800 MB. Let me quickly show you how much RAM you have currently on the G4 Plus, which boasts of 3GB of RAM, and you have whopping 1.9GB of RAM free for the user, so that's totally amazing. Though you have low RAM on the J7, you won't face that much problem or feel any difference at all. The interface is extremely snappy and the gameplay is also very smooth. Well, before I talk more about the performance of the phone, let me show you some amazing tips and tricks, the great software features on this Samsung device. I really love smart features and Samsung devices are best in this. Let's get started with Minox. Most of the mid-range Samsung phones lack this feature. With this, you can maintain a secret and secured profile. Just go to your Smart Manager and install this from the device security option. Let me show you how does this work. Anything you do here is totally private. All these applications are locked and this password is different from your unlocking password. Now let's take a photo. This image is only available on the Minox gallery. If you check the system gallery, there will be no trace of it. So this is how you can separate your personal and work life. There you go, the image on the Minox gallery. Anything you do here, like if you browse the internet or if you download anything, even if you play a game, that won't affect the original application on your smartphone. You can lock Minox anytime. Now guys, I'm going to show you some shorthand tricks. For example, if you double tap the home button, you can launch the camera, and this works whenever you want. When your screen is off and the phone is password locked, this works. So it's the fastest way to launch the camera. There are a lot more features I want to show you. Let's first enable those features. There you get one-handed operation, and now if you triple tap the home button, you can shrink the whole display to your right or left for easier one-handed uses, and it's extremely handy when you are walking down the road or you are just standing on a crowded bus or train, cannot use both hands to access the huge display, so it's a must-know feature on the Galaxy J7 2016. You are also getting one-handed input on the dialer and also on the keyboard, calculator, unlocking pattern, etc. So without reducing the screen size, you can still make a call or type. Now if you are in danger, like you are in an accident, just triple tap the power key and the phone will send an SOS message to your near and dear ones, and in addition to the message, an audio recording will be sent along with images captured by the front and the back camera of the phone. Your location will be tracked and that will be included in the message as well. Indian government is actually making this compulsory for all the smartphones released in India to have this kind of features. Samsung has it on their smartphones for a couple of years now. You can edit settings from here and also add your emergency contact numbers. Next, when you receive an incoming call or your alarm goes off, just flip the phone to mute, and there is also smart alert, that is when your phone is resting on the table you have new notifications. If you pick it up, the phone will vibrate. Now under lock screen and security settings you get Find My Mobile, that is if you lose your J7 you can track it and also remotely control using your Samsung account. From the SIM card manager you can enable smart dual SIM, that is if you are busy on the SIM 1 and you get a call on the SIM 2, the call will be forwarded to the SIM 1. There is also do not disturb, and you can customize this in a lot of ways, like you can allow calls from your favorite contacts or someone who calls more than one time. Now I want to also quickly talk about the adapt sound feature, which is one of the best features on Samsung phones. With this you can fine-tune the sound quality, and let me show you how you can calibrate. You need your earphone and after that you will hear some beeps. It's done. A very smart way to calibrate, and I'm telling you guys, this is worth trying. If you already have the J7, try it and feel the difference. Now as expected, this Galaxy J7 also supports OTG, and in case you don't know, you can buy this type of OTG cables and attach your pen drive, hard drive, mouse, keyboards, etc. There you go, your smartphone becomes a laptop. This might be handy if you type a lot, like if you are writing a book or just writing a long email. Well, you must have heard about Samsung's new S-Bike mode. This is a very handy feature for the bikers. Well, when you are driving, this application will take the calls and tell the caller you are driving, you cannot take the call, and also automatically reply with a message. If the call is important, the caller can press 1 and you will hear the ringtone, but you need to actually stop your bike to receive the call because this app also tracks your speed and you cannot use the phone when your speed is more than 10 km/h. So indeed, it's a very handy app. You can also press and hold the power key to access the bike mode, and there is also an emergency mode, which is another very interesting feature. Let me show you. Well, the display has turned grayscale and you are getting the most important options. Now it's more visible and you can use the torch, raise an alarm, and also make a call, browse the internet, and most importantly you can make an emergency call to 100, that is the police station, and the battery backup can be several days in this mode. There are also dedicated battery saving modes, and the ultra power saving mode is basically somewhat like the emergency mode but without the emergency call and alarm. There is also app power saving, that is if one of your application is not being used for more than 3 days, it will be set to save power. There is also ultra data saving mode, that is you can save up to 40% of your data, and that includes your browsing and downloading data. This feature is powered by Opera Max, which is preloaded into your phone. Now visit the settings menu and then accessibility, dexterity and interaction, assistant menu. Then also enable Assistant Plus. Now as you can see, there is a floating icon here, and this brings your frequently used options just under your thumb. So you can pull down the notification center, and as I have enabled Assistant Plus, this is now contextual, so I can actually access the gallery or switch the camera right from here. Galaxy J7 also supports themes, and you can download hundreds of themes from the theme store. As you can see guys, the look and feel of the phone has changed, and without installing any third-party launcher you can customize the phone just like so. Well, I also want to show you some tricks on the keyboard. First of all, you can use the swipe input, that is the continuous input, which is the fastest way to write, and you can also add keyboard shortcuts. For example, if I write GP, I can add gadgets portal, and I can also put my name just by S and B. For symbols, you have to visit the symbols key and find the key, but I can actually assign those to the numerical keys, and this is how you can use your frequently used symbols so quickly. You can also just tap and hold on the spacebar and swipe for different languages, which I have enabled actually. To set all of these, just go to the settings and add the input languages from here. For the keyboard shortcuts, you have to actually swipe down, and this is the option you should check. There is also an option for high contrast keyboard. Well, there you go, the high contrast keyboard for easier typing. Well, enough with the tips and tricks, I can show you hundreds more. Let's talk about the performance of this device. This Galaxy J7 is powered by two quad-core Cortex A53 processors clocked at 1.59 GHz. That means this is more powerful than the Moto G4 Plus, and coupled with the lower resolution display, the gaming performance on this J7 2016 is just flawless. I have tried some really hardcore games like Godfire, Nova 3, etc., and all of those games were just buttery smooth. So this Galaxy J7 is also a very powerful gaming machine. Well, I have already shown you the camera samples. Now let me give you a quick demo of the interface. You get almost all the fancy features of Samsung, and as I mentioned before, the autofocusing is quite fast and accurate. You can also touch to focus, and there is basically no shutter lag at all. Now there are a couple of modes, and with the Pro mode you can manually set your white balance, ISO and your exposure, etc. Though no raw file recording, and with Beauty Face you can airbrush the faces just like you do on Photoshop. The front camera is wide enough for 3 to 4 people, and you can capture images with this gesture. Guys, we are almost at the end of this review, and thanks a lot for being with me so far. Now there are so many other alternatives of this device with better specs and a fingerprint sensor, full HD screen and more RAM. So it's really quite hard to tell which one is the best. Well, let me make this easier for you. If you are a super hardcore gamer and also want long-lasting battery, no overheating and a solidly built device with Samsung's reliability, then go for this Galaxy J7 2016. This phone won't give you that much problems in the long run. On the other hand, if you want a multimedia device with again good gaming performance, good speaker and also a very handy fingerprint sensor, then you can go for either G4 Plus or the ZUK Z1. I want to mention here the G4 Plus or the Z1 runs on almost the stock Android, whereas you are getting some fancy features on this Galaxy J7. Now it's up to you which one you choose. The full review of the Moto G4 Plus and the ZUK Z1 are on the way, so I suggest you to wait for a few days and watch those videos before you buy the phone. I will add the links in the description below. If you don't want to miss those reviews, then also do subscribe to this channel and keep in touch. I put lots of efforts in making these videos, so if you share this video and also like, I would really appreciate. Thanks again for being with me so far. This is Shukesh Panik and have a nice day.